I found this chest at the GalactiCosmiCave. Let's see what puzzle treasures there are to uncover. Well, that came out of nowhere. Well, onto the secret cave entrance in Top 5 Puzzles I Did in Galactic Puzzle Hunt 2023. Starting off small here. Kicking off the list is a lot of faces in Faces. My teammates got through the face identification without breaking a sweat, leaving the real challenge on extracting an answerable word or phrase, as with the typical puzzle hunt puzzle. I saw a lot of Abrahams, Georges, and Thomases, and my first train of thought was US presidents. Only one problem, there isn't one for Alex. Still, the connection of George Washington and Abraham Lincoln, two of the most iconic presidents of the US, is too significant to ignore. And I was onto something because these presidents are also figures of US currency, along with Alexander Hamilton for the $10 bill. That sums up that relatively simple experience, which is surprising considering prior experiences with GPH puzzles. And this is hardly the only example. I mean, I solo paint by numbers within 10 minutes, and these two puzzles aren't those earlier puzzles, or even the earlier things we did in the hunt, because answerables aren't the only thing in the cave. When that chest exploded, out came Caro, a magic carp who was supposed to guard the chest. Now that chaos came out Pandora's box style, Caro tasked us to transform the cave monsters into friends with the power of Uwu as the GalactiCardCaptors. As the name suggests, we often need to protect our camp and manage resources to summon allies and defeat enemies in a turn-based card battle. Basically like Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Until we face gimmicks, because even though we're not submitting an answer word or phrase, we're still doing a puzzle hunt puzzle. Case in point is when battling coloring. Our deck has 8 place names, which we later found to be places in Colorado. However, all of the places of the cards need to be kept on the board. It took a good while, but some teammates were able to find a way to defeat the enemies. However, in order to win, we need to be in the right formation. Our initial thought was ensuring that we get in the same positions like a substitute, but we later found that these place names are also shared with those in Wyoming, hence the name Coloring. Moreover, Colorado and Wyoming share similar dimensions, requiring us to identify the coordinate system and map everything out to get the right formation to befriend this legendary. And we're doing more legendary logic! Caro's goal is for us to battle and befriend all 12 legendaries to keep them from fighting each other. Kinda like Mark's calling Curry to get star power to stop the sun and moon from fighting. In our case, another legendary we took on is Munich, with 25 pastures to handle. Munich is an auditor and imposes all sorts of conditions. Some survey nearby counts and others look at the entire community. But after seeing how all the audits pan out, all of them are actually indicators based on those from all sorts of square-shading logic puzzles, like the first sub-puzzle where the inverted scanner riffs on the numbers of Minesweeper. So part of the task is figuring out what the rule sets are and how they are implemented. And even then, we need to ensure that we have enough cards and moves with the B and W copier, as once the conditions are all laid out, we only have 3 terms to fill the board correctly. It's a good thing that O and RE cards already on board can produce the resources to summon, and that is just what is going on in the first 12 puzzles. Later on, these odds involve some variations, and we don't even get to see the solutions, but the logic-based rule sets mean I can have a sense on what is going on. And I like it when I know things. We've done a lot of card battles in the cave, but every so often we reach a puzzle of the good old classic format. Like my runner-up, Now I Know. My teammates got through most of the clue solving, again, leaving the real challenge on how to extract an answer from that, again. Eventually, I took a good look at the clues to see what to do next, and the Ba and Black clues caught my attention and helped me hear the main aha. Because Baba Black Sheep, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and the classic ABC song all share the same melody. Probably one of my favorite ahas that I now start to associate words with letters of the alphabet. The trickier ones are the words that don't appear in the lyrics, but those words are really fragments of words that do appear. Before my top picks, some honorable mentions. Make your own Star Battle. Star Battle meets combinatorics that all boils down to casework. Gessner Mom. Didn't do much, but I found the premise of using, in the words of Not Just Spikes, the world's most challenging Frogger level incredibly hilarious. Beige flags. The simple act of making flags beige can sometimes trip up the reverse image searchers, requiring us to use a mix of word logic and nutramatic anagram skills. Animal Shelter. The classic Einstein-style logic puzzle that also incorporates animal terminology. Dargle. That's when I knew the card games would throw gimmicks. Othello. The battle version can be a standalone multiplayer game at this point. Actually, the card battling itself is so developed, there's even a skill mastery tree, an instancer for teams to experiment their builds, a speedrunner mode, and even a PvP section. At this point, Galactic Trendsetters should be a game developer. Actually, some of them already are. I like puzzles that I can solve. While I'm still trying to get accustomed to the card battling system, I encountered Miss U. I'm up against 6 Cyclouds and an invincible barn that lasts until 3 Cyclouds are defeated. But here's the kicker. Every so often, some of my units just get wiped from the map, and more importantly, I can't summon replacements. And even if I get lucky enough to survive, the Cyclouds get angry and can deal a lot of damage to the base. So my first big question is to find out what cells don't get wiped, and it took a long time for me to find what is going on. At first, it seemed to be on relative positioning, but then I noticed the title, Miss U. Moss U. That's a clever disguise of this logic puzzle, where the main premise involves forming a loop for the black and white circles. The loop is how Miss U does the coordinated lasso, and my units need to get out of the way from that. But even with a solver from Knocked Out Solutions, I still need to prepare a good enough hand from the beginning that doesn't cost a lot of summon and can deal enough damage. Especially in the final part of the Angry Cyclouds. Luckily, I was able to evenly damage the remaining cows, such that by the time they get angry, I can one-shot them with my own attacks. And then I can storm the base and solo my first and only card battle of that hunt. Near the end of the first day, I felt sleepy and went to hit the hay. But by the time I woke up the next day, my teammates finished the hunt. So that wraps up my experience in Galactic Puzzle Hunt 2023. Considering how long and difficult past GPH hunts were, I was like, that's it? With only one traditional meta puzzle, there's a lot less of the classic chaos I was anticipating. But that's because the real meat of the hunt is the card battling with the world building, art, and deck building strategy, or cheese. And as this legend says, when it comes to winning friends, what's more effective than chaos is coming together in harmony with something in common, like legendary pie. Thanks to Galactic Trendsetters for the pies along the way, and for viewers like you, thank you!